Hello and good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Kindness Rising. How many times would you fail before you decided maybe this isn't for me? 10 times? 100? 1,000? How about 5,127 prototypes? That's what one inventor built. And there was one band who spent decades playing familiar songs without ever treating them like finished projects. Yep. Maybe greatness isn't the ability to look at what went wrong and get it right the first time. Let's try that again. Maybe greatness isn't getting it right the first time. Maybe it's the ability to look at what went wrong and say, interesting, what did that teach me? Today, we're not celebrating failure. We're doing something much more useful. We're learning not to waste it. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Jess. Welcome into Kindness Rising this morning. Appreciate you for showing up as you do every day, and everybody else out there in Kindness Rising land as we get warmed up and get started on the mornings in the lab network, just like we do every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. right here on Kindness Rising. Before we get over to Before we get over to mornings in the lab, and today is Wednesday, so of course 8:30 a.m. will be It Starts with Joy. Cheryl Raphael Whitaker, join her every Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. Yep, welcome back. We are getting it going here with our Without a Net series. Jess and Mike and anybody else who's out there. I love that. Everybody else, Mike. Everybody's welcome. I appreciate you, and you are always welcome here. All right, we're owning our mess this week. Good morning, Mother. I appreciate you. Are you owning your mess this week? I look forward to seeing you in just a couple of hours, spending some time together. That will be nice. Monday, remember we spilled paint across an entire basement staircase on Helen Street. Yep, and we learned that everybody spills the paint. Great leaders name the entire staircase. Yesterday, Ernie and I created our exercise program inspired by Rocky III and ended up with ripped pants. We learned that the plan may work perfectly until the road changes. And sometimes the smartest thing you can do is just untie the rope. Today we take the next step. Who owned the mistake? Oh no, you owned the mistake. You already owned the mistake. That's right. And you interrupted the pattern. But what are you going to learn from it? Because a mistake doesn't automatically become wisdom. Sometimes a mistake just becomes a mistake. We repeat with even more confidence. Today's lesson, don't waste the mistake. Thank you all for joining me here on Kindness Rising this morning as we get up and get after it every single day. And make sure the mic is unplugged because it seems to want to be a little loosey-goosey today. Here's an idea. What's something we hear all the time? Experience is the best teacher, right? I agree in some way, but I also think in some ways it's just not true. Some people have 20 years of experience. Other people have 1 year of experience repeated 20 times. Experience doesn't automatically teach us anything. It only does when we reflect on it. You can go through something painful and come out wiser. You can also go through something painful and come out defensive and convinced it's entirely everyone else's fault. The event doesn't create the lesson. Our curiosity does. That's why one of the most powerful questions we can ask after something goes wrong is not who did this? How about what is it trying to teach us? Because the first question, that creates a courtroom. The second one creates a classroom. And great teams know the difference. That's today's Kindness Spark. Hope it gets you up and going, thinking about things. Absolutely. And as always, we are going to roll forward with our Who in the World? Who in the world am I talking about? Three clues throughout today's episode to guess the person who is aligned with our topic. It's topical and might be explanatory or a little lesson for us. Here we go. Our first clue in today's Who in the World. This person studied engineering, but his most famous, I said he, there you go. Most famous design was a movement, not a machine. A movement, not a machine. Absolutely. All right, let's keep rolling with. Whoa, how'd that happen? Something happened. Are you hearing the music or is it in my head? Okay, that's not the music I want. Let's go with this. Of course, it's our kindness spotlight. Always, every single day, right here on Kindness Rising. We highlight an organization that's doing good work for good people, and usually we use a nonprofit organization or a social impact organization. Today, I'm changing it up a little bit because I think this organization is important enough to talk about. The work that they're doing is important to talk about, even though they don't have a not-for-profit mission. It's an organization, and it's called Fail Forward. They help individuals and organizations build a healthier relationship with failure, not by pretending that failure is fun, but by helping people turn it into learning, innovation, and better performance. And they center on something called intelligent failure. That idea is when something goes wrong, we should detect it early, speak honestly about it, get curious about what happened, and use what we learned to change the next attempt. Sounds reasonable. That sounds simple, but it's not, because our first instinct is usually to hide the mistake, isn't it? We want to minimize it or explain it, blame the printer, blame the algo, whatever the case may be. Fail Forward encourages a different response. Try studying the result. And try the next thing with a little bit more intelligence. And that is kindness with accountability. Not nothing went wrong, but something went wrong, and we are safe enough to learn about it. That is Fail Forward. All right. That is our kindness spotlight for today. It was the kindness spotlight for sure. And yeah. How's it going out there in the chat? Get involved. Come subscribe to the channel. Welcome to Kindness Rising. We come here every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. to get up with a little hope, humanity, and heart. More high fives for you and a little less rage bait. Getting started on the Mornings in the Lab network. Come get involved in the chat, because we are building a community of people who want to get up and get after it every single day. Maybe learn a little something. We start by getting up on the right side of the bed and talking about kindness and positivity. And I've been focusing lately on organizations and teams. Pretty cool. We all are part of teams, families, our community, whatever it may be. We can learn from these things, and also have a little fun along the way. A little fun, a little community. Yep. Absolutely. That's what we're doing. Subscribe to the channel. And come here every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, right here with Kindness Rising. All right. Well, we're doing something a little different today, because guess what? It's my show, and I can choose what I decide to do. Normally at this time, we'd be doing our wait. That happened today, but I'm going to do a little something different. I'm going to say, wait, that took 5,127 tries. Yep, it's true. 5,127 tries for an invention that really sucks. This invention sucks. It's great that it sucks. We're talking about the Dyson vacuum. Yes, James Dyson. We think of those sleek vacuum cleaners, the bladeless fans, and the products that somehow make our old appliances look like they need to hit the curb. You know what I mean? But before the company, before the products, before the success, there was a lot of frustration. James Dyson noticed that the conventional vacuum cleaner always lost suction when the bags became clogged. So he solved the problem. He started looking at it. He built a prototype. It didn't work. He built another. That didn't work. And another, and another, and another. You get the idea. For 4 years, he kept testing, designing, adjusting, and eventually prototype 5,127 produced the cyclonic vacuum design that he had been working for. Major manufacturers initially rejected the idea, so he decided, you know what? Fine, I'll just bring it to market myself. I want to be careful that this is not an inspirational poster. But Dyson did not simply build the same broken vacuum 5,126 times, by yelling to himself, I believe in myself, I can do it. That's not perseverance. That's just an expensive habit. He changed things each time. He tested his assumptions. He studied the results, and each prototype became information for the next one. That's why meaningful persistence works, and it's what it looks like. It's not merely refusing to quit, it's refusing to stop learning. And that breakthrough is not waiting patiently after 5,126 meaningless failures. Those previous attempts helped create it. The failures were part of the invention. Yep. Exactly. Jess, are all those tries the reason they cost so much? Probably. I don't have a Dyson. No. And you know, the bladeless hand dryers, they're kind of cool, but at the same time, there's something weird about sticking my hands in there. I don't know. I feel like I'm touching things, and I don't know. Anyway, that's the aside on the bladeless. All right, let's keep going. Dude, Sully, I appreciate you. Absolutely. I'm glad you were able to guess it. Can you guess this one already too? If you guess it when you guess it. I'm going to give you your second clue right now. Right now. Studied engineering, but his most famous design was a movement, not a machine. And here's the second clue. He proved through trial and error that something which appears wrong can actually produce better results. A movement that appeared wrong, but achieved better results. Yep. All right. Okay, let's get some more music going. All right. Here's a little bit of background about mistakes, what we can do when we make mistakes. What's the first thing that many people focus on? Who did this? What happened? Who did it? Who screwed this up? Oh, heads are gonna roll. Yeah, absolutely. But that's not what we're gonna do today. We're gonna talk about a technique that focuses on the what, not on the who, right? The practice originally developed actually by the U.S. Army as after action review is what it's called. Sully, you're a military guy, right? I think. Why do I feel like you told me you were? After action review, pretty common term, but it was developed. It was used for military operations and emergency response and things, but now businesses and complex environments use the exact same technique. What was supposed to happen? What actually happened? Why was there a difference? And what should we do differently next time? Not who, what. That doesn't mean nobody's accountable. It just means accountability is not the end of the conversation. Imagine finishing a project at work and asking those 4 questions, or finishing a difficult family conversation and asking those 4 questions. What did I expect? What happened? Why was there a gap? What will I change the next time? Not a shame spiral, not an elaborate defense, not pretending it was part of the creative vision, just honest learning. And here's the phrase that maybe we can remember together. Don't relive the mistake, review the mistake, because reflection is where experience becomes wisdom. Yep. It's true. We got to learn as we go. All right. We had our who's who. We talked about an after action review. I hear it called post-mortem, which I hate that. It's like, well, post-mortem, does that mean something died? Yeah, no, definitely good to laugh. Jess, I appreciate what you're saying. Mom, we were just talking about that. All you can do is laugh, right? Otherwise you'll cry. Oh, okay, you were not in the military, Sully. I apologize. I don't know why I thought maybe it was somebody else. Jerry or someone. Anyway, but drawing on the inspiration, the genetics to do brave things in the future. Yep, yep. Don't do them in the future, Sully. This is we're in the future, bro. We are in the future. This is the future. Today is the future. And guess what? Most of us are doing brave things every single day just by getting out of bed. And that's the honest truth. Yep. 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 Jumping out of a perfectly working airplane. I've done it. I've done it. Okay, I've got some extra time. I just watched on video, good friend of ours, who's actually a dog we took care of during this. They took off and went to a wedding. They went up a couple hours away to a wedding. The wedding was at an airfield, and the bride and groom arrived via parachute. They actually own the airstrip and this parachute jumping place. They're professionals. How freaking, oh my goodness. How awesome would that be? I saw the video. The bride butt slides right into the wedding. It was pretty amazing. I've heard of some arrivals, but that one might beat it. That one might beat it. The entire wedding party, not the entire wedding party, but a bunch of people came down in order. The groom lands, the bride lands. It was awesome. They did not get married in the air. They considered it. But yeah, anyway. I too have jumped out of a perfectly working airplane. And it's an experience. It's an experience. Absolutely. All right, let's move on. Let us move on. I'm not here to talk about jumping out of airplanes. I did mine up in Maine when I was in my 20s. Great story of jumping out of an airplane. Let me tell you, you want to talk about a rush that stays with you for a while. I'm not talking about, oh, I got this great little dopamine, or not dopamine, but endorphin hit after a workout. I'm talking about, yeah, it was crazy, riding high for a while. All right. Moving on, Matt. Move on. Help people. Help you to help people. All right. Here it is. Let's connect it back. Of course, I always like keep your feet on the ground, please. Yeah. No, I'm past that. I'm past that now, Mom, for sure. All right, let's bring it to the dead. I always do, or at least I try. I haven't been leaning too hard lately, but this one is just too good, too aligned. The Grateful Dead played the same songs hundreds of times over, but they were not trying to produce the perfect version from the night before or the one from the studio albums. The lyrics felt familiar, the chords were familiar, the structure was familiar, but the performance was alive. The tempo shifted or the transition would stretch. Someone might play an unexpected phrase and the rest of the band just had to follow along and either challenge it or bring everybody back home or whatever. So that experiment soared. Sometimes it wandered into really the wilderness of experiments without a compass or snacks for sure. Gigi, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining. We met Gigi yesterday. Jess, Sully, heads up, Roseanne, Gigi. I went live yesterday afternoon. Sometimes I'm doing that now on an impromptu live, and Gigi joined. And now Gigi is with us here at Kindness Rising in the Morning. And I told you I'd be here, Gigi. Look at me. Here I am in a different location. Welcome to the studio, a.k.a. the Fox Den at Kindness Rising. All right, the Dead, they were just performing from the belief that the music could survive whatever happened, whatever discovery happened, right? And think about how unusual that is, right? Just letting it flow and surviving the discovery. Most of us say we want innovation, but we only want it after it's been proven or successfully implemented by 3 other organizations, and there's proof and data that it works. That's not innovation, it's actually shopping. Real experimentation requires enough preparation to begin and enough psychological safety to admit when the experiment is not working, and the Grateful Dead understood that. They understood that the purpose of the song was not to preserve the arrangement, but the arrangement actually served the song. That's how the Grateful Dead owned their mistakes. All right. We got to get to our third clue. Gigi, ears up. We're playing our game as we do every single day here on Kindness Rising. Absolutely. Clue number one. We've been through two. We'll get to our third right now. And I have a feeling somebody out there in Kindness Rising land knows this answer. We have a guy who studied engineering, but his most famous design wasn't a machine. It was a movement. He proved through trial and error that something which appears wrong can produce better results. And our last clue, the clincher. We're talking about someone from the 1968 Olympics, and he proved that turning backwards could take an entire sport forward and higher. Yep, forward and higher. Nope, it's not James Dyson, the Dyson vacuum cleaner maker. It's a guy who reinvented a sport that took him higher by turning backwards. All right. Keep your guesses coming, and we'll keep going here. Sometimes failure means we need more practice. Sometimes it means we were careless, and sometimes it means the conditions changed. And sometimes failure is giving us information that the method itself is no longer working, but we become so attached to that method. This is how we've always done it, but this is the approved process. This is the way it worked in 2007. So did my BlackBerry, but that doesn't mean I should keep using it. Healthy leaders stay fiercely committed to the mission and appropriately flexible around the method. James Dyson didn't improve the goal of making a better vacuum. He changed the design. The Grateful Dead didn't abandon the song. They changed the performance. The mistake itself is not always telling you to stop. Sometimes it's just inviting you to become more curious. Try a different angle. Question the assumption. Build prototype 5128. Play that song again. Turn around and go backwards over the pole. I don't know. The goal is not to avoid every wrong note. It's to become the kind of person and the kind of team that can hear a wrong note and remain present enough to discover where it might lead. That's what it means by to play without a net. Not careless, not unprepared, but alive, listening, adjusting, and learning. Don't waste your mistakes. That's it. All right. That's a tough one. Bobby Knight, Dave Jacobs. I don't know who Dave Jacobs is. Not a pole vaulter either. All right. I thought this was a well-known one. As a matter of fact, I thought Sully or someone out there was going to get it right off of that first clue. Nope. It's a guy who reinvented high jumping, and his name and his photograph right here, Dick Fosbury. The Fosbury flop, it became known as. Everyone used to go over the pole differently. Over the pole, front first. He turned around and went backwards at the 1968 Olympics. And it looked really weird because no one was doing it that way. Today, you see high jumpers. This is the only way they do it. Dick Fosbury did not become great by perfecting the accepted method. He became great by remembering the actual goal. Clear the bar. The goal was not to look like everyone else while he was doing it. For sure. The Fosbury flop. Yep. Howdy, Jerry Ginger. Jerry Ginger's in here. Are you familiar with the Fosbury flop, Jerry? Thanks for joining me this morning, Jerry. I appreciate you always, always, always. All right. Let's do our compass. I went out of order a little bit, but hey, I just realized something because I'm kind of kooky. The Fosbury flop was a form of ED. Oh, Jerry, you're good. Okay, Jerry, Look, Jerry Ginger, GG Gunk. Jerry, are we GGs in here? Two GGs. Are you the same person? I know Jerry Ginger is actually imaginary. GG Junk, are you real? Let's get to our kindness compass. Today's compass is change the method. 3 questions. Where are you working harder at something that simply is not working? What mistake have you been trying to forget instead of study? And what is one small experiment you could try today? Not a total reinvention, not a 5-year strategic transformation initiative with 17 committees and a logo. One experiment, one change conversation, one new approach or a prototype. It's simple. Write down one mistake. Underneath it, write down what did it teach me. Then write down one thing you could change on the next attempt. That's it. Keep the lesson, release the shame, and move forward wiser. That's what we do here on Kindness Rising. All right. You're not a bot. You are real, Gigi. Jerry Ginger's not a bot either. He's just imaginary. He's a fantasy person. All right. I'm going to sneeze. I can feel it coming. And I forgot to take Fosbury off of the screen, too. Sorry. All right. Well, we are winding down. We are winding down on another beautiful day here at Kindness Rising as we get started in Mornings in the Lab Network right here, 7:30 a.m. Eastern every single day. Then we get on over to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends at 8 a.m. And today is Wednesday, so we're going to be rocking with Cheryl Raphael Whitaker, 8:30 a.m. It starts with joy. Check out the channels. Come in, like, subscribe. Get involved. We're waking you up every single day in new, interesting, and fun ways for sure. So let's keep rolling. Okay. We got a few extra minutes of time to kill. What do people have cooking today? Come in and say hi. How are you going to do something good today? Do something kind for the world. Maybe put a ripple of kindness out there. I am looking forward to spending some QT with my mother, Roseanne, who may still be out there in the chat, or who knows what she's doing right now. Probably praying for us all. Thank you for your prayers, Mom. We all need them. Yeah. You dropped a story earlier? What's your story, Ambassador? Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's the story you're dropping? Okay. Play Angels Above Me by Stick Figure. Okay, we'll check out. Gigi Gunk wants us to check out a tune, Angels Above Me by Stick Figure. We will listen to it. I know there's others that are interested in listening to new music too. I always enjoy new music. All right. Well, that's it. Another beautiful day again here on Kindness Rising. We're going to weave the thread like we do every day at the end. Monday, we talked about owning the full mess. We named that staircase as the paint bounced down it. Yesterday, we talked about interrupting a bad pattern before momentum takes control. We untied the rope from that bicycle that ran me down. And today, we took what happened and turned it into something useful by not wasting the mistake. The Grateful Dead played the song again, but never exactly the same way. James Dyson built another prototype, but not exactly the same prototype. Dick Fosbury approached the bar again, but not exactly the same way. That is growth, not repeating yesterday with more determination, but returning with more awareness. The wheel keeps turning. The conditions keep changing, and each time around we get another opportunity to listen more closely, respond more honestly, and become a little wiser than before. Remember our upward spiral staircase we've talked about before? Yep. Remember, psychological safety does not mean every idea will work. It means people can speak honestly about what happened when it does not. It means we can examine the experiment without destroying the experimenter. It means failure can become information instead of your identity. You made a mistake. That doesn't mean you are a mistake. Study it, learn from it, change your approach, then step back right onto the wire without a net. Until tomorrow, I hope everyone out there will do this. Stay uncommon and stay Kai.